Hello everybody. Welcome to SaEunShine. My name is SaEun and I am an explorer. By the time I turned 40, I had moved my official residence address 32 times. And I have lived and worked and traveled to 46 countries. I'm also a nature lover, so as an explorer who loves nature, I really enjoy backpacking trips where I have just one backpack and my mode of transportation is my two legs, and this way I am so free to just enjoy nature and really feel the connection with the ground, Mother Earth, where my 2 feet touch, to just breathe in the winds and the smells, to really get close to the sounds of nature like ocean waves and birds and winds chiming through the forest leaves. It teaches me so much about life and that you are sometimes alone, but sometimes in a group of people, sometimes you're with a partner, sometimes you're with your own children, and you have a backpack with you that you carry with you, and this is for you to manage. So several years ago I started something called city dating because as a nomad I wanted to find my own city where I feel truly at home and just unpack all of me and grow my own roots. And I had discovered my home city, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And so I decided to just unpack all of me, and take my backpack off, and get down to the ground and start taking out what's been in the backpack. And to my great surprise, there were 3 very heavy stones in there. And we all know as backpackers, it is so important to keep our backpacks light. That extra 1/4 kilogram really matters on your journey, on your shoulders and your back and your knees. And yet I was carrying these heavy stones. And so I had to look, take out the first stone. Wow, this first stone is very old. It's almost like a prehistoric, fossilized, like a dinosaur's egg. There's some roots still attached to it and growing out of it. And there's some molds and there's a lot of different composition. And this stone is called Injustices. It's not fair stone. And it's composed of patriarchy, misogyny, colonization, global racial caste system, religious wars, ideology wars that keeps us in poverty and voicelessness. Wow, I am shocked that this stone is with me because I thought I had run from it back in 1993 when I left my family, my Korean family in Saudi Arabia. A life that represented a lot of these. Okay, so the second stone, I take it out, and this stone is very peculiar and unique. It's beautiful, and when I pick it up and shine it through the light, it has many different cultures. It's almost like a mosaic of different earth pieces put together into a beautiful crystal. And this stone is called globalization and third culture kids. Now, if you don't know what third culture kids, that term means, I highly recommend for you to look it up, as well as also check out this book. It's the Bible of TCKs, Third Culture Kids. And this applies to you, anyone who, as a result of parents' migration, whatever the reason, the cause is for migration, if you grew up outside of your parents' culture, and therefore you became a blend of your parents' culture and the culture of where you grew up, and resulted in becoming a third culture kid. Check it out. And so this stone of multicultural, undefinable, unlabelable, unboxable mosaic of cultures, languages, ideologies, values, that can also be, depending on how you look at it, like a chameleon. Okay, interesting. And there is now the third stone. As I take it out of my backpack, this is a huge stone. It is heavy. It's a kind of stone that no one person try to carry by oneself. It's also hot. It's like reality. There's things happening right now. There's pulses. And this stone is called immigrants. And I remember this stone rattling inside me during the US presidential election in 2016. I could not believe the results of that election that year. And I was in Washington, D.C. And I remember getting really emotional about the notion of what is leadership, what is democracy, who are the immigrants, and what are immigrant rights, what's the future of immigrants. And all of that really almost could be the reason as to why I left Washington, D.C. and United States the year after that. So I put that down, and with this stone as well, why is it so heavy and why is it still with me? I thought I ran from it. So I needed to get curious about these stones. They were in my backpack. As I was beginning to get curious, guess what happened? March 2020, WHO declares the global pandemic, and whoosh, I am actually at that time in Bagan in Myanmar, watching beautiful sunrises and sunsets. And along with this news, I experienced something quite supernatural, because the best way to describe it is like in the book Scrooge by Charles Dickens. You know how he experiences this becoming like a ghost to the past and learns his life lessons? Well, it was like that for me during the entire pandemic. I was scooped up from Myanmar, and we shall never forget Myanmar and what's going on in that country right now. Two, I was forced back to United States, even though I was running towards Canada. The borders closed and I couldn't get back in. And so here I am back in United States. I started in California and ended up I drove across country to northeastern tip, Vermont. And as I drive across, I am experiencing being right in the middle of George Floyd, Black Lives Matter just explodes, of course, along with Me Too and anti-masks, anti-this and that protests until the election of 2020 that I got to be part of. And I remember that election day so clearly because it snowed in Vermont in November, and one of my neighbors got locked out in the snow, and so he ended up knocking on my door, and we got to chat for, I don't know, maybe an hour until the landlord came to give the key, and he turned out to be a Trump supporter. And so from there, I got to actually enter Canada as the restrictions loosened, and saw the colorful, beautiful Montreal, ça va bien aller, rainbows on every windows, artists creating new venues and ways to express themselves. And at the same time, I also saw the deep anger and frustration in the Québécois and the Montreal community as well, and the police. And from there, I was taken to here, which is deep in my roots, where the systems of underdogs and those injustices are still very alive. And this is where my family is from, South Korea. And this time I get to see the aliveness of those systems of injustices, as well as how much it has progressed, how much it has changed. In some ways, this place feels like the future in terms of the technological advancement. And I got to experience another change in leadership and presidency. We just had an election here, and the election process revealed how divided the country is, and the key determining topic was feminism, among others. And so here they were, my stones. Why are they heavy? As I got more curious, it became clear to me that they were heavy because I had been frustrated. These have been my frustrations that I'm carrying with me. And therefore, I am always going around trying to fix others, fix the outside. I thought I was so intelligent, getting a master's degree in international development and going around the world and trying to fix the world's problems. And I ran from these problems, my frustrations, instead of really leaning into them and accepting that they're part of us. I ran, because that's what I learned at age 13. And what I didn't realize is that these are all a part of me. And these are my very loved ones, my families, my friends, my communities. And each decision to run was a true separation. It sounded like a glorious migration to the new world, but it came with a painful separation, and grieving has to come for losing those that you loved. But I just didn't know. I didn't know how to grieve, and I didn't know that they were true separation. So I grieved, and I accepted, practiced curiosity, awareness, acceptance, of who I am, and that I am responsible for me, nobody else. And there is nothing to fix. I don't need to fix anything on the outside. I don't need to fix anybody. And I don't need to fix me either. I am imperfectly perfect. That this is a divine design. I am the captain of my life, and I'm the creator of my reality. And from this place, when I look at SaEunShine, SaEunShine is a warm, bright, colorful space where you get to unpack all of who you are. It's like an explorer's spa, so that you get to experience a connection with yourselves, with your truths, and step into your light, your sovereignty. So I look forward to meeting you very soon. Thank you.